astronomical price.
That was lame.
After a quick and uneventful game 2, NIP have gotten us to game 3, Brian, which hopefully will be a little more interesting. You know, game 2 didn't deliver. There wasn't enough
we're just hoping that
the
people for next game aren't going to be late because we finished this series so early. That's what we're crossing our fingers for, because the last thing we want to do is wait for more Dota. You know, you don't want to wait. Brakes are off. We've yanked them out of the car.
Yep.
The games are speeding on by. And hopefully this game maybe brings a little bit more pizzazz.
Yes, hopefully so. The odds still favoring Navi despite the game 2 loss. So we'll see if they're not hopefully too demoralized about how things went, as we'll be hopping ourselves in the game. A quick pause to start things off. I imagine the teams, we saw them picking their heroes slowly at the end of that last game. A bit more serious now. How does... You know, as a team, how do you react to a game like that? You just spent 100 minutes in this painful, long game, and it ended in such an anticlimactic way as well.
I think you just have to remember that that loss is like any other loss. You know, the effective net impact of it is you're 1-1 in a game, or 1-1 in your series, excuse me, and hopefully their brains are not functioning as slowly as mine is right now. As I really do think it's about just recentering yourselves. You just have to remind yourselves, like, regardless of what happened, we're on equal footing. It's 1-1 now. Everything's off the table. Just restarting the series, best of 1. It's hard to do exactly, but I think it's really important.
Yep. Eat a banana, get some Mountain Dew game fuel, whatever it needs. Get yourself some energy and, like you say, focus in.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Use your Intel core processors and...
Yep. All the good stuff. So
Mercedes, drive it. Yep.
Yes. Go for a quick, cruise around the block to clear your head in your Mercedes.
That's usually what I try to do. My convertible Mercedes is perfect for just really clearing the mind.
Yeah. I haven't got one of those Mercedes.
Sorry.
Listening.
If you're listening.
Just, that was a long pass I could do with,
I wouldn't be mine. My bonus check was a Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't get paid overtime here, but I'll take a Mercedes, Know what I'm saying?
They have to have a couple spare ones lying around somewhere. That's the only logical explanation, as we do have a Shadow Shaman. I didn't know this hero still existed, but he's here. He's a zoomin'. He's got the boots.
This is the classic Shadow Shaman build. Boots first, playing in the offlane behind a tanky melee offlaner.
Yeah.
Do you like it here? Like, what do you think they're picking it for?
They did lack lockdown, and it kind of goes with the death profit in terms of the push. Because their 5 position is in Abaddon, they definitely needed a hard stun. Instant stun, preferably against the Ursa, as he gets
pushed to the high ground.
Oh, blinding lighted. I see. I was like, did he get flame braked? I'm like, Tanner's not throwing, is he? And turns out 9 Pasha is going to be perfectly fine, as it's pretty standard to take your temper chain level 1 against the Ursa, just because you don't really gain that much from reactive when he just hits you and keeps doing more damage to you, despite the fact that you have all that armor. Yeah, and IP with the full invade here to try and secure these bounty runes, which should leave the top ones for Navi's grabbing. But we'll see. Navi still pinging as if they're going to consider a play. Lot of bites onto the cliff you go. PPD, Snipe Slayer up there, and he's going to be forced to TP his way out of there. Pasha wants this bounty rune. A lot of battles, right-click battles going down. Dahak wins the other one. As Pasha What's up, Slayer? How you doing, buddy? Just making sure you're still there. Okay, guys, he's there.
They get the vision by getting nice.
They can blinding light him onto there, so if they want.
Oh. Are they going to give the kill to the Ursa? Oh, no, they gave it to the bat. Tanner mid, of course, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking in my head this is a support bat rider, but he's going to go to this mid lane with a nice gold advantage now with that first blood.
Very nice play from PPD there. That was a moment of brilliance sponsored by Intel if I've ever seen one.
Whew. That's making the episode 2.
Yes, that one will be there for sure. Thank you, Peter.
But yeah, Milan going to be playing this 4th position Enigma and Void Spirit in the offlane. So we've seen a bit of this 4th position Enigma, and it seems very greedy generally. You're not really helping your offlane all that much. You're just trying to deny creeps to pull the weight back, but then actually playing like a farming jungle kind of role.
Yeah, I'm mostly noting that it gives the opponent carry, other than the jungle, or other than the originally denied range creeps, pretty much free farm. And Morphling will make great use of that, but I think Dahak will also be enjoying himself bottom, as 9 Pasha forced to level the Timber Chain, as we already saw. And Ursa, in theory, it's great against Timbersaw. but you do generally run out of regen a lot. So I'm seeing if Dahak brings something new to the table, because just getting hit by those random nukes from Timbersaw does add up, and Ursa doesn't have some sort of innate sustain super early on in the game.
Yep.
Does he go for like an early to mid game Morbid Mask? Does he go for a Ring of Tarask? What's Dahak gonna do? Normal things? We'll just have to find out.
Yeah, we'll see. Ursa, not a hero we see too much these days. Kind of has fallen off.
2 days of glory when the new patch came out.
And they were quickly taken away. Poor Bear. But yeah, he's going to be doing just fine in that bottom lane, but perhaps more so Morphling up top. You know, you mentioned Enigma not being in the lane should give Crystallize a free lane, and with an Abaddon, that's a hero with a heal. So when you go full Agi and you get harassed, those heals are going to be super efficient. Although for now he is playing around the level 1 passive on Ilias. So
he's already got 3 denies somehow.
Yeah,
doing good there.
No, definitely off to a good start. Enigma nowhere to be seen, off in the jungle, playing that full hard jungle farmer role. This is something it feels like we're seeing more and more in these pro games. I don't feel like I've seen it too much in like the Heimemar pubs when I'm on the watch tab.
Yeah, it's because you get reported.
Yes, that was where I was kind of going with that. Most offlaners, if you do this, will not be happy.
It's hard to be a core player and say, well, I guess I'm going to get carried by my support, and that's kind of what Enigma brings to the table. I think the clarity change helped him a lot. As you see, he does have the headdress into 4 clarities. I think because of how much faster you get your mana back, it really does add up a lot. And you don't have to go for like Soul Ring or anything like that before you go for the Helm of the Dominator. And Dahak is getting, like I said, nuked down against the Timbersaw. It adds up a lot. He has the 1-1-1 skill build. Even though he's an Agi hero and it doesn't do a ton of damage with that Whirling Death, it still adds up. It's about 100 pure damage.
Blizzy trying to pull some waves here, but Ilias does have the passive, so does pose at least a little bit more of a threat here with the right clicks.
And Orb of Venom. It adds up. The silence.
The silence, now the attack speed bonus, but it's gonna wear off. No attack speed bonus, really. And Blizzy.
The Sal.
Pulling around. He's gonna mess with this lane equilibrium.
Around the Rosie. Nobody else thought of that? Okay. Will he take the second wave? What's the play? Where is he going? He's taking Ilias on a journey around the world with him as we go mid
lane. Magical, perhaps a little bit too late. Oh, that was close.
If he got that shield off, he would have been perfectly fine. Actually has a point in Flame Break, something we don't see work too often anymore, but he did use it just to get him underneath his own Firefly.
Wait, is he going to kill Tan?
Ilias? No, he doesn't have another shield. He has to be careful.
Ilias a little bit slow in that TP, perhaps, or maybe Death Prophet a little bit slow to call for it. Since Tannen will get a haster in, does have a bottle queued up.
Will he consider just running back to base with that?
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, especially given that there's going to be a Death Prophet coming back with full health, full mana. To the base he goes, and he'll have that TP, and he doesn't go for the bottle. He picks up a Bracer, gets some more stats. See Slayer coming in for another courier. This is going to be his second courier snipe. If you can't juke it, he doesn't micro it around the trees. Not that it would have likely led to too much. And PPD gives him another tip. The second of this game, he's going for the second courier. He's going to eat his way through. He's juking. He's running it north. Oh, nicely played, Ursa. Courier micro becoming more and more important. Oh no, he's pulling it back. This courier. Forget the heroes. It's the couriers that you got to look out for.
Those things are valuable, man.
Yep. Like a creep a piece. 5-minute bounty runes coming out, and PPD going to get into enemy territory to steal one. As NIP will get at least 2, looking for a third here. So 3 of the 4 bounty runes going the way of the ninjas.
In pajamas. Though they are not asleep here, as they do have the lead. It's ever so slight.
It's so, like, weird going from the craziness of that 80-minute game with all these, you know, rapiers, tier 5 items, and now we're in the kind of quiet, calm, early game. Let's set the tempo for this game. Everyone's just trying to secure their lane for now. We're setting up for the next big bloodbath.
Indeed we are, as Ilias is chilling behind Magical now, knowing that Tanner hit level 6, maybe going to be looking for that early use of the lasso, and surprised he left the Flame Break at one point. This ability at one point just seems so bad compared to either taking 2 points or 0. As Magical does get lassoed away from Ilias over the high ground, but a little bit of an aggressively optimistic play from Tanner.
Still going in though. Magical.
That's just level 1 flame
should
break.
be fine, yeah, that's to say. He's healing up and healing more than he's taking damage. And that Firefly wearing off, so Tanner, not sure what he had in mind there.
Yeah, we have the sticky stuff to the sucky stuff on the other side, so very up in your face kind of mid lane matchup we got going so far.
As far as the carries go, I mean, normally you look at a Morphling and an Ursa and you think, well, if Morphling free farms and gets to late game, that should be an easy game for a Morphling to carry, right? Ursa's not a hero that you're scared of necessarily.
Ursa does kind of threaten you if they get the stun on you instantly. He will supply the burst, but at the same time, it's not an. I won't want to play Ursa against any heavily farmed hard carry in the game for the most part. He does have the treads on Dahak.
Yeah, he's going in, he's gunning for Ilias, and one more right click, he'll get this kill. Nicely played. Helm of the Dominator creep, the center coming into the party, Milan.
Look at the number 1 CS.
Yep. I'm guessing Milan. His net worth, though, number 5, so a little bit misleading. As we'll see this push in this mid-tier 1 tower with that Helm of the Dominator aura and the Eidolons, the siege creep. They time this perfectly.
Yeah, this is really good.
And they'll get a tier 1 mid, so the most important tier 1 on the map.
Against the Death Prophet with a Batrider as the Shadow Shaman feeds Central.
Yeah, NIP off to a great start. They're up 4 kills, 1,000 gold. They take a tier 1 mid. They are not giving Navi a moment to catch their breath after game number 2.
The mental damage is done. Now you gotta finish them off.
But Navi do have the Crystallized Morphling, a classic player hero combo, and he is getting that free farm.
Yeah, I like the meta that's involved with Ursa. They nerfed the overpower and they buffed your other stuff, so you just don't level overpower and you buy treads.
There you go.
So you attack faster. Kind of interesting how that ends up working out. Pasha might be in some trouble. Who's in some trouble, actually?
Yeah.
It looks like it might be Peter.
Slayer's going with the shackles. They're going to blow up Peter as Dahak salving up is looking for a revenge kill. Tanner rotates in with the lasso, going to cancel TP.
Tanner?
Pasha?
Tanner?
Go to Timber Chain. Oof. Almost maybe gets out of
He
that
literally
one.
took him to the one spot Dahak couldn't hit him.
He did have a haste rune, so chasing him should have been a breeze. Even
he
if
just wanted the last hit for himself. That's actually next level BM, if you ask me.
Yep. He's like, I need this steal. Ursa, you're fine.
Iron Talon on the Morphling. That's really nice for ranged heroes nowadays. 15 attack speed plus the active. And I saw Enigma get an Iron Talon. Is Ursa flying himself the Iron Talon? Yes, he is.
Okay. So Ursa keeping up for now.
Probably give that the Void Spirit. Gives the Broom Handle to Ursa, but I think if I was the Ursa, I would prefer the Iron Talon myself. But we'll see.
Back at bottom of the line after taking the tier 1 mid is rotating in here. He was the panel's MVP for the first game, and we'll see what he can do this one on the Enigma. So far being the tempo setter, as we'll see Tanner also making moves around the map. It seems like NIP, they're looking to get out of this game quickly. They're looking to take towers, play up in Navi's face, and not give them a chance to farm up this Morphling.
I believe this is why we don't see Shadow Shaman very often.
Yeah, this pick is not looking too hot this game so far. Push back from the Flame Break. Pasha does get out of there.
He was looking for the Blinding Light pushback, but didn't time it. Didn't even try, but didn't think he could get the timing.
Interesting creep choice from Milan, going for the Harpy. The Chain Lightning has been nerfed a bit as far as the mana pool, so you can't quite spam it as much as you once could.
It's also really nice for that nighttime push, which is over now, but Harpy Stormcrafters, people who are unaware, it does give 1800 night vision.
There you go.
Irrelevant now, but I'm pretty sure that does factor into utilizing it. That whole camp creeps do.
Would make sense. As NIP will finish off this tier 1 bottom tower, their second tower of the game. Back at top, Morphling unable to make a huge dent in this tier 1 tower. He's going down to about half health as he continues to free farm away.
Bottom. Trying to catch Pasha, gets the flame break into the lasso. Dahak follows it up, and it's a feeding timber saw, I think.
Hopefully, if you're NIP, because Ursa did not use his ultimate there for the bonus damage, but...
Excuse me?
Sorry, not bonus damage. I'm going way back.
Yeah, I was about to say, way back to a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that I'm sure most Ursa players have had to get used to.
You know, yeah, after a 90-minute game, my brain's still a bit fried. No more bonus damage from the enrage.
You were just testing everyone at home, and for all of you who failed, you're stupid. But otherwise, gods, you got it, man. Good test.
I'm glad. Thanks, Brian. You got my back here.
And I think it's really nice what they did to Ursa's ult, just because it used to be that you had to make a really hard decision between do I pop this aggressively or do I pop it defensively, and now it's purely defensive. And you can still do what you need to do with the ult damage. They basically took the damage off of the ult and put it onto your Fury Sights. So nice little rework to the hero there. But apparently after the nerfs originally to the patch, he's still pretty bad.
Milan's got the Blink Dagger queued up next.
Lane gets the stun onto the Void Spirit. I guess this is why they picked it.
Yep, a lot of lockdown. Slayer finds him with the control.
Level 6 on Shaman.
Okay, so we could start seeing some pushes happening from the Navi side, but it's NIP who have smoked up and maybe looking to hunt down this Morphling, but initiating on him is no easy task. Until they get that Blink Enigma, I think they may struggle to find this kill, but we'll maybe put that to the test. Milan's coming in, has a Purge creep.
It's especially hard when you don't have Lasso, but he has it pretty soon. Does miss the Flame Break. He's chasing, though. He's on the prowl.
Ambitious. Tanner.
Yeah.
He's diving in, but he's got a lot of spins coming in. Yeah, this
Abaddon's TPing, but it's late.
They really need that shield here. Willowboost comes in as well. The Abaddon just can't do anything. There's a black hole in the backlines. Catches that too. Crystallize does get a little bit further out. He tries to use his morph to get himself back to safety, but NIP have just overrun them. Tanner's on a mega kill streak. His mid-bat. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, you can tell Navi was like, no way he's going to chase me. Crystallize, what are they doing? What are they doing? And they're coming. Guys, they're helping me dive. And then, like, by the time they could have easily reacted to that way quicker. And I'm pretty sure they just didn't give credit to Tanner as much as they should have, that he was going to pursue that to the ends of the earth as they walk straight into the Roche pit. Ursa, I don't know if you guys heard, but this hero's pretty fast at Roche.
We're about to see it if you haven't heard. Has the Yasha first, so we'll see a quick S and Y. Looking to build up some of that additional status resist. And the hunt takes ages now.
This game's getting blown wide open in comparison to the last one, and they don't have this like turtle lineup anymore on Navi. Timbersaw, Morphling, DP, these are not turtle course.
It hasn't felt like a Death Prophet game. We haven't seen like the objective taking Death Prophet Shadow Shaman is theoretically like a heroes that are meant to push and play quick, but Navi have been on the back foot throughout this first 14 minutes of this game.
Yeah, carrying the momentum from that last base swoop that ended the game, the short, uneventful second game of the series. As they do poke down this tier 2. The Enigma does offer a lot of damage with the Eidolons, as well as the Helm of the Dominator aura.
Here come Navi smoked up. Looking to take the jump. They know there's no black hole.
Yep.
That's the big one for them. They get the nice Chakram initiation with the Timber Chain to follow up. Milan instantly bursted and blowing up. They want more though. They want Blizio to hack. They don't get the Timber Chain.
Now what?
Oh, and the center stun, patching the backline, stopping the chases. To Hack still getting chased down. He dodges the Chakram. Nicely played to keep himself alive. PPD going to try blinding light them away, and
Ursa Coddle seems pretty good.
Kept Ursa alive for now. Pasha still chasing, going to chain on in. Nice flame break, breaks the chain, and NIP disengaged with just the one loss. That was a perfect escape, more or less, from NIP, even losing the Enigma there, and they instantly smoke up. They know they're at their strongest when they're the ones getting the jump, and they want to utilize this Aegis to play aggressively.
Isn't that a song? We will never break the chain.
Sure, I have no idea.
It just reminded me, you know how you have like, that meant something more to me than it should have, you know? But now, back to the game as BSJ gets off his random tangent. Does have the urn going to the Spirit Vessel on Void Spirit. Seems like a Spirit build. You have the Void and Embers just going this first item Spirit Vessel. Yep. And he's almost got it against the DP, against the Morph. They have a Abaddon and the Timbersaw. They have a Abaddon to remove it, but as long as they can separate the map a little bit, play around the Abaddon, who's only a 5 position, that Spirit Vessel is going to be seriously potent against these like tanky, heavy cores that rely on that regen.
Feels like Elias, you know, his job to try to keep his cores alive, like he's somewhat dropped the ball. First the mid lane gank, and now the top lane with the Morphling dive. He needs to be in the right place or reacting.
It's hard because he has multiple cores that are vulnerable, so it's not an easy task as in a 5 position of Batten. If you've ever played it, you'd be like, well, there's too many cores to worry about. Sometimes that leads to you basically trying to do a little bit of everything and not getting everyone saved at all. And Magical just forced to defend himself. SNY Ursa treads SNY. I've seen this build before. I saw Arteezy do it. I've seen the Hawk do it in pubs. Kind of just the overall run at you build. Yep. Very nice all-around build for Ursa as he goes for the defusal next.
The Cuddle doing a great job making up for Ursa's mana problems here, just with the constant chakra.
Just following him around. This is the power of Coddle. Even though he's a long cooldown ultimate, he is a low cooldown fighter because of the nature of chakra magic, making it so one of his teammates can just be that much more potent. Kind of like an IO, just instead of movement speed and health, you just give them unlimited mana and cooldowns.
And NIP, just wherever they go, Navi are afraid to take a fight. They're playing wherever NIP are not. They did push the top tier 1 tower with the Super Wards, but NIP are after bigger game. They're going to go for the tier 2 tower down bottom. Just a 2k gold lead, so as much as it's been NIP making all the plays, setting the tempo, being the aggressors, they haven't pulled ahead by a huge margin. Nice. Flame break. Cancels the timber chain as well with the lasso, and now Pyjamas are going to go the hell down. He gets bursted, and Blissey rotating in, thought about a second kill, but Navi managed to at least escape with the rest. They've got so many things to stop this timber chain between the blinding light, the flame break, and then the stuns, things like Malefice and Lasso, that this Timbersaw just hasn't had a game.
Yeah, very rare have we seen a Timbersaw, even when it's first rounded, that just gets completely obliterated like this, to be blunt, for Nine Pasha here. Not necessarily his fault. It doesn't feel like he's made any major mistakes. Doesn't seem like much of it's in his control, but the Hawk does get the Vampire Fangs, quite a valuable item for Ursa.
Yep. Means
region problem I was concerned about, yeah. And Coddle does not fix that, unlike an IO. But Shadow Shaman is pressuring the top tower, and now Crystallize is chilling around that area.
Is the E-Blade of Morphling the timing that Navi will look to fight, or are they going to have to
We're going to find out quite shortly. Okay. He does have it, but I don't know if it's enough. I think they can burst down like the Keeper of the Light if he finds him, but if PPD is well positioned, it's going to be difficult because they don't have like the best go-in hero first before the Morphling. I don't think Morphling wants to frontline, and I don't know who's really going to supply him with the info. I think Nine Pasha can kind of just die, as he's going for a Lotus Orb super early on in the game on Nine Pasha. The problem is you need this against the Spirit Vessel, you need this against the Batrider Sticky Napalm, but then you have the Ursa, you have the Batrider, like Lasso still, as you see here.
That exact Lasso. The Hawk's going to follow it up and look to burst him down with the Will-O-Wisp.
The Will-O-Wisp killed the trees, so he couldn't timber chain away.
Oh, beautiful. And Crystallize, well, we talked about the E-Blade coming in. It looks like he bursted the Void Spirit, maybe. At least the Shaman getting credit to the kill. He's on cooldown, so.
How is he not putting out the fire as he walks over it?
Still in beta, I guess?
Okay.
Who knows?
There, he put it out now.
Okay.
I was getting a bit concerned with my understanding of physics and the ways of the world, as he does have just a full pipe on Tanner, queuing up a Radiance. Interesting. No blink build coming out from him. Super tanky.
We saw OG do some Radiance Batrider, was it, against the PL? As against the Illusion? But why do you think Radiance this game?
I think he just realizes his job is to run around in the middle of the fight, and it technically tanks you up as well as your teammates against right click, but DP Ghost can't miss, and a lot of their damage is either pure or physical, so in the form of like their nukes.
Morphling.
Not sure about the plan build overall, but Morphling did get Spirit Vessel, Noah bad in a round.
Yeah, he's got the waveform out, but Tanner will follow him. Doesn't have a lasso here, but Crystallize just completely alone. Doesn't seem to have a good escape for this one, and yeah, he's just going to get picked off farming by himself. Goes for a TP out. Okay, no luck for that one.
Gotta respect the try.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't very close.
Keep him honest.
Blinding light cooldown taken by Peter.
All right.
11-second cooldown.
Effective that's been against things like the Timber Chain, I can't blame him.
Magical working on it. BKB absolutely needs it against that magical damage.
Yes.
Sorry.
Even the Morphling, I feel like, might want to consider BKB as his next item. And
it's true.
He's not doing. Has Manta. Okay.
Has Manta queued up. He does need a defensive item of some sorts. Manta's a bit greedy, but maybe he thinks like with a BKB it just doesn't matter. He won't be able to win the game off that. He needs that extra bit of damage, bit of right click. They did nerf the E-Blade on Morph overall. So this like early timing E-Blade is a bit worse, as they made it so it's a higher base damage but less based on your agility.
NIP not seem afraid of much Navi's throwing at them, as they're just going to waltz down the top lane, take a tier 2 tower and contest it, and likely just happy to keep taking these out of towers, try to set themselves up for the second Roshan.
I really like the Basher
on Ursa.
Yeah, I think you're going to get countered by BKBs, and that's the only, like, they have to buy BKBs on heroes like the Death Prophet, even considering it on the Morph, and Diffusal Blade also gets countered by BKBs, so suddenly your entire lineup's damage is countered by BKBs. So now, and like Lockdown. I know you have Black Hole and Lasso, but those are both super long cooldown ultimates, and you want to be able to threaten like the TP away, as well as just the ability for them to participate in fights. If they're like trying to run down some of your team, you can actually just hit them. It's quite nice, I think. And he's queuing up the Abyssal. I'd say a decent item for Ursa, 650 range Blink with a built-in stun. It's okay.
It was like an item that was made for Ursa.
Yeah, it really does.
In some ways. But I think Enigma has a BKB coming out in the career, right? Yeah, there we go. Full BKB. This was their 10th pick. They 10th picked their 4th position Enigma, and it is a pretty scary Enigma game. Nothing to cancel the BKB Black Hole. He's the second most farmed here on their team. Tanner playing like this space creator, much like the offlane Void Spirit is, so Navi will not have answers to this Black Hole, and if you just BKB Black Hole some cores, they're gonna die.
Yeah, you don't mind putting so much farm priority on the Enigma when they have no answer. It feels really good. It's like a late game win condition. I know Peter likes this hero. Back when he was on Optic and was playing in the NA region, they draft this hero a lot, and it just makes it so you always feel comfortable taking the game as late as possible, because the Black Hole is the trump card that just is unbeatable, really, if they can't cancel it.
Brick catches them in the smoke. I don't think Tanner meant that. Yeah. Don't swear.
Has Kaya Sanj queued up on Timbersaw?
Oh.
Are they trying to steep the Roche?
Status resist, maybe? Kaya Sanj, as well as, I mean, damage. It kind of gives a few nice things.
They're giving them the full reach around.
Yep.
Radiant does scan the Roche pit, so they to make sure they don't get freaking ambushed.
And Radiant have the high ground. Milan's here, ready with a BKB Black Hole on 3! Oh!
With the white hole!
It's absolutely disastrous as Navi get completely caught up in that. Crystallize is stunned up, being chased down. Do not see an escape for him. He's trying to firefly himself over there, but Tanner's got some fire of his own. And they'll take out the Morphling. It's only the 2 kills. I thought they'd get a 3rd, but they instantly tip Milan and say, thanks again. Well deserved.
Thank you for 10th pick carry, Milan.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff. As NIP will secure themselves Roshan, and there's the odds favoring NIP. Maybe,
not that much.
Maybe those odds didn't see that team fight yet. If you've just seen that team fight, I would say you're looking at...
I believe those odds don't realize this is Enigma without a BKB piercing stun. That's pretty much means late game's yours at any time. Yep. I'd take Enigma over pretty much anything else in the game, assuming your team's is like even net worth or so, if they can't cancel Black Hole, because there is just no playing around it.
Milan's running around with that Purge creep as well, which... Was there any big things that you're looking to dispel with that? The shield, like our observer's saying?
Yeah, it could be the shield. I don't know what else you would actually want to dispel with that. It's not really that great against the shield. It just effectively does 200 damage to remove the shield. 200, yeah, 200. Crystallize, going for the man. So he's committed.
Navi smoked up. They are looking to come on in. I think worried that this game is just slipping away from them. And they know without Black Hole that they feel like this is a chance. You can't... If you're playing late game against BKB Black Hole with no counter, you have to fight when Black Hole's on cooldown. But NIP seem wary of that. They are positioned on the high ground. Remnants just covering all these ramps.
Titan's liver for Dahak. Status resistance really piling on. The ult gives 50%. His SNY gives 20%. His Titan's liver gives 16%. That's like 96% status resistance.
It says he's sitting at 33% right now.
I'm just kidding. It doesn't stack that way.
Okay.
It also isn't factoring in the 50% from his ult that's not activated right now, but yeah. I was testing you, God. You passed. Good job.
I was just reading numbers off the screen. You know, it's hard to fail when you're just reading
copying the answer.
Yep. Exactly. Blink lasso the shield. Oh, he nearly can't get there in time.
I like that he ults and then abyssals because he has 50% or 80% stats resistance.
Yep.
It's pretty funny actually.
And NIP are just running over Navi at this point. They're going to get Pasha as well. Oh. He does change to the high ground, but with the Spirit Vessel, he's just not able to do a whole lot. He does load him off and get it. Well, they'll still get him. Now the glyph being used.
They still have hole.
Yep.
Keep the catapult. No, the Cardi. We hardly knew ye.
Fishing around NIP. They don't have the most amazing building sieges, but when you're this strong at team fighting and the enemy is afraid of that black hole.
It's a good old Ursa high grounding. What do you mean?
Remember we used to see Ursa get like Decimate stuff just to help with the high grounding.
They are having to deal with the split push bottom as Tanner's looking, trying to be that bully that we all know and love.
Leaves Slayer to die as Crystallize looks to get the hell out of there and he barely escapes.
Okay. So infestation in our base address. Back to the job at hand.
He's out there, made a jump in to Huck. He's got the Aegis and yeah. He's got to keep her alive behind him as well. So it looks like Navi not going to overcommit for the Ursa.
He can lifesteal his way back up. Yep. Just let him hit some creeps. He's got that Vampire Fangs that he's interchanging with the Titan Sliver. I like the use of max efficiency on these jungle items. Top lane's also a concern. There are 5 range creeps for the Dire here.
Jeez.
As NIP, I think, needs to do some lane maintenance. Possibly before they look to take this fight. They are smoked up though. And they do use Sticky to scout out the high ground.
They're going to ignore top for now. They really want to force that fight and go high ground. Captain PPD is saying, this is our moment, this is our time. No TPing back to defend lanes, they're fine. Until we see heroes, we're not worried about it. That's what towers are for, they defend the lanes for us.
Except for the tier 2 top does already die.
Ooh, Slayer sneaks by the ward. I believe it would have scouted him. Yep, they've seen him now. Chase is on, Slayer. With those Spidey legs, he is pretty nimble. And he's just going to keep on running south, out of enemy vision, just barely, as he really wants to
continue. He's even going to nuke the wave.
Yeah, they'll see him again now.
Don't give up, Blizzy.
Uh-oh. Void Spirit's here now. This is not good for Slayer, but he gets himself out of there. Okay.
What?
I'm surprised he didn't chase him.
And top lane still getting pressured. It's not going to do any damage really other than a few shots from the catapult, but NIP does have a bit of pressure on him here in terms of the lane equilibrium across the board.
That really says to me they want to get a Rex now because that's a lot of farm. You mentioned like 5 range creeps. That was a big creep wave for any of their heroes to go farm.
We want a Rex and we want it now, says Dahawk, I believe is what I heard him saying over the team comms. He does use his Q to get out of the camp. That was pretty hype.
Well, they're going to have to get that Rex without an Aegis now, so Aegis expiring, and we'll see what NIP's next move is going to be. As Milan draws a line and said, this is enough. Can we push in the damn top lane, please? He doesn't want to TP because he knows as soon as if he shows himself there, Navi is like, okay, no Enigma, let's go fight.
I want to be very clear. It's completely map surrendering to have anybody on their team TP.
So they either have to walk there or they have to start cutting the wave top. I've made this mistake. It actually lost me a crucial game to go to a major, so I'll never forget it. Do not TP back to your own tier 3 when your team is attempting to control the map, because if the opponent is good, they'll just simply run at your teammates because they know they're a 4v5. So as they approach this, NIP, Tanner looking for some kills top, gets the lasso onto a non-morphing morph.
Here, gets the Hex out the screen. They lock him down, the Abyssal fall off, and they burst him from full to nothing. He
Slayer's in some trouble.
Yes, he is.
Make it double. It's a double kill. No, it's a godlike.
Even better, say NIP.
Is it even better, though? Because it's more gold if he dies.
It's mental damage, you know?
True. As he elected to not go for this Radiance build. He does go for the Blink 4-staff, the more standard catch them build. And I think at this stage in the game, you're not having a problem grouping up on NIP in terms of like your group up not being strong enough. You're having a problem grouping up because they're splitting you. So it's really important that he builds all of this mobility to catch as many heroes as possible.
Enigma going for an Octarine core, playing around the cooldown reduction.
He can go completely luxurious items
Yeah.
here. He doesn't need to go like Lincoln's or Shadow Blade for positioning. He can just go straight for the Octarine core into probably Ags or Refresher, and he can feel real good about himself, as he also has the level 15% cooldown talent, and the kill score is 4-20 gods. And I believe Firefly, especially from the Batrider, is blazing it. Whew.
Dire's middle barracks
And
are under attack.
delivering for the fans in more ways than one here
True.
in Game 3.
Nice break of the smoke from Tanner.
Pun intended.
Yes, actually. I realized it after, but that was a little too next level for my own good.
I was like, whoa, you're good at this one, Brian. Well,
It's only funny if I'm not trying.
there we go. Navi, they're all in. They know they need to try and take a fight. They have to be careful not to group for the black hole, and they're doing a good job at keeping this fight separated. But Crystallize finds himself stuck on a cliff as Slayer gets bursted elsewhere on the map, and Milan's Enigma did already pop the BKB, so now they're playing without the BKB, which means canceling and dealing with this black hole a little bit easier. Disarm out on the Ursa, who does get the status resist from the ultimate. They're trying to blow up the Death Prophet, comes very close to doing so. 1 or 2 more right clicks, he blinks away. Nice itemization from Magical, keeping him alive. But yeah, the damage from Dahak, and now with the Will-O-Wisp lockdown, Ilias is just being pulled back in. There's the black hole. So on Magical gets cancelled. As his BKB was cooldown, but Navi unable to get any kills or even come close to any. Dahak on a beyond godlike.
Just called.
And he instantly just leaves the game. NIP, dominant Game 3.
Wow.
After a hell of a Game 2. That's the game, you know.